Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of, and it came from the Workbench, which, man, I've been slack-a-lacking on It Came from the Workbench installments because y'all know me, man. What I like to do is do a bunch of work in the background, not show any of it, so we just show the end results. Talked about this guy a little bit on the most recent Friday that occurred. Zoku Basecamp Zool. Zobazu is coming into his own. We did a full electronics swap, pretty much. We had some oddities. We had some more, even yet more still oddities. So he is undriven and untested. So I don't know. He's unscaled. And here's why I've been resistant to put him on the scales. I mean, we can get an RTR weight, see if we trimmed any weight pulling out a 1200 Fusion, add in the big brick of a 1300 4S. You see the rear end? I want it to sit right there, but every time he comes to rest, he's sitting like that. It's Traxxas white all the way around, so 1.6 pounds all the way around. But when we get that weight transfer on climbs, the 1.6 might be right. So Bench Me says put on like a 1.3 or something in the back, and then Rocks Me says no, don't do that. Drive it and find out. Rhino Crawler V40, the little guy, and is a very little guy. We've got the LCXU. The motor is mounted so high that we can put the receiver under the motor. I think they could have mounted the motor lower. I kind of see why they didn't, because it was pointed out to me by the Zoku man, that in RTR configuration, this is actually shifted over so much that the motor is directly above the frame rail, which is why I think the motor does not sit lower. We're running something small, 1156, 1500 kV. This is a 4S Yellow Jacket 3523. We can get the real low. I think I can go even slower. We can go really low. Watch the label. We're in that 60 to 70 RPM. But because we're 4S, NSDRC RS500B up front. Fantastic servo at that price point. Fast enough, more than enough torque. Should be over adequate for the application we put it into. And then I touched on this recently in the semi-non-install. I don't even know what I'm going to number this one. I guess this is the official third, fourth, whatever installment this is. That's the number that's in the thumbnail. We've gone to the DS Power DS HO15A, which is their little $20 half height, which is rated at 8.4 volts. I am running it at 7.4 volts because I don't think it matters, because it's plenty fast enough. And it's strong enough that dig engagement and disengagement, there's no clatter to it. It is in there because while setting this up, I had my tried and true favorite, the $15 JX4409MG, the $15 half height. And every time I would plug it in, the whole receiver would go, the wheels would twitch, and this thing would fall out of sync mode. It was very strange. I've had some recent things where some servos don't like some things, and it always echoes back to me a comment that I had read on a video, I don't know how long back, where someone had said, will this servo work with this? And at that time I thought, what a crazy question. A servo is a servo. And now I've encountered 4 or 5 instances where some servos and some other electronics combinations, they just don't like each other. It doesn't work. So we're going to spend far more time wheeling and babbling than we are sitting at basically what is a still image and babbling. Motor is hardwired. I got it on the first try because, I mean, with the wires there and there, part of me wanted to be like super permanence and cut the wires down, but I resisted. Everything should be good. Oh, yes. Yes. The more I see the Zool body, the more I like it. Yes, it is not an MST J45C, but it is also not $100. We will start in grams. 2544. Yeah, you can read that. Unit wise, 5.60. 5.604. I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. 5.6 pounds for this boy with that 4S, because there's a part of me always clicking away in my brain now, weight weaning, and I'm not a weight weenie when it comes to crawlers, because I know we've got a decent, we're not a full kilo of wheelos on this, but we're pretty close. So I have to look at it from the perspective of, yeah, this thing weighs, what was it, 2644, 2544? Nearly 1,000 grams of that is wheel and tire. So I have said it, I am an echo machine. I will repeat it over and over again. The most important ratio is not fore to aft weight distribution. It's not this one. The most important ratio is the ratio of unsprung weight to sprung weight. And the second most important ratio, and this is a hot take, this is potentially unpopular, is cross weight, is the way that the weight moves dynamically when the vehicle is under load. Because that's what will pop a tire in the air. Guys, it's not always torque twist that is lifting that tire. Sometimes it's just pure weight transfer. You get it up and it'll throw too much weight this way, pop the tire, which is a big part of why I think on the bench, too stiff, we get the real Roadrunner hijacker rear. But on steep ascent, I don't know if it's going to be nearly as much of a problem, or it might actually help us. So I don't think there's anything to do but find out. Oh, it feels so soft. But I do like them plush. I like a lot of compliance. We'll do a little mini protocol. We'll hit some spots. We'll hit the Daphnes. We'll hit Slipcrock. We'll do that. We are forever committed to the hunks because they look brilliant. Oh, yes. I neglected to point out. You will notice we've got Panhard drag link pretty much rocking the perfect parallel until we're fully straight compressed, which is not a thing. We're running a 2.5 millimeter spacer right there. You can see a little gunmetal boy. And when I had set this up initially, moving everything over to the Zoku chassis, I would call the methodology I used is slapdash, because the axle was 7 millimeters over that way. It was 7 millimeters over to the driver's side, which meant that there was a massive length disparity between the Panhard link and the drag link, and that is the recipe for creating bump steer. So now it is straight up and down. I watched the line of the fender to the inside of the tire. We have no bump steer. We have no axle sway. Straight up and down. So I think that, I mean, we don't succeed unless we make a whole bunch of changes at once and then sometimes fruitlessly try to figure out what's working and what's not. We are committed to these tires because they look fantastic. This is the ultimate sacrifice for vanity. I can think of a couple pairs of tires I could grab off the rack and we might get more raw forward drive. We might get a little more lateral positionability. And I don't care! He looks so good, and sometimes we just lean on it. We just lean on it. He may end up on 3Ds, because I think if nothing else, we've got a decent amount, little amount of flexion. He's running Canyon custom softs all the way around. Might go to ultra softs in the front, or might go to 3D printed. I don't know. I may have access to a 3D printer now. Maybe. And I may have some guys out there, some Canyon arrows out there to help me out. So as we transfer outside, we'll just let the singing pickle take us out. I don't know if I would say that I am doubly concerned about the rear springing issue, but the very first test that every rig must endure, regardless of what it is the door from the workshop. When the workshop was set up, it's raised up off the ground about 16 inches. So the floor level is about 16 inches above ground level. And we have one step going out the front door. So it's about a 10-inch drop to come out the door of the wood shop. And every rig gets to drive off of that step. And if you go doodlebug, if you swap your rear end with your front end, this generally implies that the rear end is oversprung. And this guy doodlebugged hard out of the door. So it might be oversprung in the rear. I'm doubling down on that acknowledgement. But I definitely fixed the front end because it is tracking as straight as I hit it on cruise. I had to touch the steering wheel once driving all the way from the shop to the course. So we've definitely improved there. We would love to see what drag brake is going to look like. I mean, the low speed is just there, and oh, yeah, I think you see it. There we go. Oh man, I love and hate this because the little tweaking and the fine tuning and getting that last percent. Sometimes it's nice, and I gotta say, of the gear covers that I've bought, cheap and expensive alike, those Mias black and brass for those AR-44s look phenomenal. $20 a pair. I don't care what weight they add. They add about 30 grams a piece, but they look brilliant. He's got a reverse light. He's got a reverse blinker. You can see the speed control. Boop, boop, boop. Nice. Drag brake test. Okay, so that yellow jacket, that 3523, has never had what I would consider to be a remarkable drag brake. That amount of rollback, even for me, as a great fan of the electronic anchor, I'm okay with that because that's rolling back so slowly. So we can begin our arguments now, counselors. Do we think that we have a combination of two factors, or do we think we have one factor overriding another? Do we think that the rear end is too stiff, or do we think that the front inserts, like in terms of both? I think that the rear insert is fine. I think the rear springing might be a little heavy. Do we think that the front is too heavy? Do we need to do both? Because we have to make a minimum of two changes at a time. Do we both insert down in the front and spring down in the back? I don't know. Let's see here on some actual factual terrain. The low speed control on this motor is nonsense. This rig does what others that have been tested recently, it does the opposite of what others that have been tested recently, which is, this is a straight axle rig that drives like it's portaled. It went straight up over that there's a little ledgy friend here. It's amazing what correct steering geometry will do, is it not? So when you come across here, it's very common to slide belly. Nothing. The maneuverability, though, because I think we've tuned the tire. That was the goal. Ordinarily, in these sort of pursuits, it's the other way around. You choose the tire that fits the behavior of that rig. No. Opposite. Oh my goodness. They look so good now. I mean, they looked good. You know what I mean. Performance aspect-wise, how does this guy clear so well? Oh, the no. Let's just go to staircase. Wait, no, let's not. Let's do a thing. I like how the wind... Oh, some ASMR for you? I like how the wind piles up leaves just in little localized areas. I didn't do that. Get up there. Get up there. The hunk is not a tire traditionally with a lot of side bite. Oh. He's also running a pretty narrow track. I want to say, if memory serves, 9 3/4. He is making that 9 3/4 work. And no interference, just straight through. And why are hunks staying on this guy? Because look at it. It's the intersection of brilliant and gorgeous. Man, he looks good. Looks so good. Woo! Let's go, baby. Oh, the descending. How is it good? So when you're feeling particularly good about things that you've stumbled onto or guessed your way towards, a staircase will show up and help ruin those good feelings. And if it doesn't, then the side hill will come and usually get you. Oh, see, okay. I feel like if we soften that rear, I think it's going to impact that performance right there. That 3523 is such a little wee babby that there are points where it gives it a bit of a brushed feel. So if you're looking for an outrunner and you're not an electronic anchor guy, you don't want clamping it down and you don't want that instantaneous torque pop, look at shorter cans. I'm a 3542 man. We definitely have those outnumbering anything else. That low speed is, superb, and I take no credit. I was moving electronics from one rig to another, saw this guy in the bin, and I got a little too spicy. Completing an incompleted thought. I had mentioned, I can't remember how long ago, it was in one of the Ascent videos that I lost a Fusion 1200. I didn't. I just started another, it came from the Workbench, this gentleman, and just threw the 1200 in there. The other 1200 is in Clank. They were sitting right next to each other on the Workbench the whole time. So I said, I need to free up that 1200. And started digging. What electronics are we going to move? Remember that Remember that the GFO was still fitted with the RS500B that's in there, despite the fact that he's on a Fusion Pro, which is 3S Max, and the RS500 is not awesome on 3S. It's a 4S direct servo. So the decision to make this guy 4S, I was just going to run that 1500 on 3S. But it was a fortunate situation all around. I think everybody came out better. I think this guy might have gotten the best of all of the... Oh my goodness. Yeah. We are talking about forward drive falls off a little bit at the absolute extreme. Little pop out of dig there. There we go here. This is a bad one. Oh, his descending stability. With the rear feeling a little bit oversprung, like you would think that it would want to doodlebug a little bit more, it really, really does not. Like, does he sit flat? Yeah, now he's got a little bit of rake. I feel like he could go maybe a tiny bit lower, and I think this guy desperately needs, I'm going to have to dig through the bins and see if I have them. This guy he's on GTS, Traxxas GTS. I think the Traxxas GTS need to be converted to run on SE springs, the babbies, because right there, the tire rubs on the spring to such a degree that you can watch the band at the top of the spring rotate around as it spins the spring. So I don't feel it impacting performance here in general, but I feel like it could. I don't know if I have enough rates on hand in the small springs. His compliance is like near perfect. Ooh, it's definitely, it's the joy and the pain of being in that 10% where what damage do we do when we change a spring or make some other insert change? Because this is why I need to be in these types of situations, sitting behind a camera and not just out here wheeling quietly by myself. Because I would have made the first hit, gone, I don't know, he feels a little underdamped here, oversprung to this end. He maybe feels like he needs a little bit of this. It doesn't feel like that insert is deflecting enough. And then I would have made a change, and I would not have wheeled him enough to make an informed judgment. Because as he sits now, coming through stuff like this, he's got to fail at something, because I don't want to change anything. Like, usually in these situations, I'd be like, oh man, he could really benefit from like a high clearance link in the rear, or a different link of this, or a different type of insert. Oh, it was a little high. Or a little bit more width, or a little bit more unsprung weight. I thought that in this situation, that front was going to get a lot lighter. We'll go the higher attack, see if he can hold it. I went too high. Yeah, at the extreme. I've made this, I know I've brought this analogy upon your ears before, that we can't take some real world stuff into conversations of these, because with the amount of power that even these tiny little motors make, it would be the equivalent of this guy would have like 900 horsepower, like an insane amount of horsepower, and it's electric horsepower. It's not ice. So it's like instantaneous torque. No real world vehicle has this kind of torque. So these things can do maneuvers that real 1-1 vehicles have no chance. I gotta get used to that reverse a little bit. So I feel like he's kind of in a take a step back orientation right now. Oh, that drive right there. His forwarded drive improved so much. The only change that I'm pondering is, now that he's a 4S guy, so let me run it down. Yella, RoboKitty, Zoidberg, not Ghost Rover. I think we're up to 5 4S rigs, 5 or 6. I'm losing track. I need to get more 4S packs. So watching this guy bust around, some 4S 650s are less than half the weight of the pack that's in there right now, which would take something like 5 ounces off of him, get him down just a hair above 5 pounds, and then I would want to bring him right back up to that weight by like brass hub in the front, knuckle weights in the front. Mind you, this whole time, those are completely stock axles. He's on the stock aluminum SLWs. He has no weight, physical weight added, except 30 grams a piece from the diff covers, and he's running brass rings in his front wheels. So he's got about, I think there's 76 a piece. So he's 100, 76, 150. He's 180 grams heavier in the front and 30 grams heavier in the rear. Unsprung, we've added that. So we could definitely add a bunch more. All other things equalized, I'm just so happy that the hunks are doing the work. Oh yeah. That's a half shuttle. I wouldn't even consider that a full shuttle maneuver. Let's get more straight cut. Oh. obviously should be able to... Okay. That was my first attempt at a 4S bump. It's a little zesty. So maybe, again, I think that was a front wheel strike. And I think we got like a little kinetic return on it. Oh, so good right here, though. Ooh, 4S is... I don't have any curve or anything dialed in yet. We're out here raw, baby. Let's see how we can... I do love dig. Get around, get around, get around. Now I'm kind of scared to bump because he's a shotgun. He acts like he has so much more clearance than he does, or does he just have a lot of clearance? Oh, okay. We maybe we can get away with more front weight because reversing up that is not usually a thing. So let's try try the narrowness on for size. Ooh, that reverse is spicy. There's a real spot right there. Oh, I see. Okay. You see that there's the shadow on those two little rocks there. When the rear tire rolls over those two rocks, it's just a side ejector. Okay, we'll get a little lower across there. Yeah, right there, right there. It's just popping it over. All right. So outside the pipe is a trick for narrow boys. And this guy's pretty narrow. Got it. I'm a little far away. There's a little gap there. Right there. It's a little high. Oh, I need some brass knucks. Oh yeah, well, while we're precariously held in this position, in one of the most axial things I've seen, and it's not that this is all new or unseen in the past, an AR-44 knuckle doesn't fit on an AR-40 axle. An AR-45, 44 doesn't fit on a 45 by, I would honestly say, 1 millimeter. Like the axle lines up right, but the amount of camber that's built into the built-in C-hub, you just can't get it to line up. They like bind together. So I can't put big heavy, I bought a set of AMKs. I would have been able to put 300 grams on the front end of this guy, 300 grams unsprung for like $30. Sadly, they do not fit. So I am going to have to find something. I think the 10 Pro stuff fits on here. I either need 45 straight or 10 Pro. Yeah, we're not getting it. We're not getting it. So I've got 2 more spots. I wanted to look at the lateral. Yeah. He clears like he's portaled. I don't know if that's just mental comparisons to other rigs I've been driving recently, but I kind of love the fact that the little 3523 doesn't have that torque mountain. He's very smooth. He's very composed. It rolls on and off of power really nicely. I watch at full lock. I watch the front tires like shudder a little bit, and I don't know if that's the inside tire rubbing on the shock. Now that would be a change that I should be able to make without great detriment, because catch of the day, because I can get the exact same rate. I can put 1.6s on there, or if nothing else, like 1.5s. Go down a tiny bit all the way around, help lower our static ride height a little bit. I don't think it will cause an over collapse in the rear. The more I wheel it, the more correct the 1.6's seam all the way around. I don't even know if I would change the mounting hole, the frame and mounting holes, front and rear. I don't know. Someone from the outside, which is y'all's, someone needs to tell me it looks like it's doing this here or that there. I don't know. It seems super composed, like all the time. So I think we'll wrap the day. A little jaunt over to the deadliest of the Montanas. There's a little lip, I was going to say right there, that people get hung up on. Here's another one for you. This rig is outfitted, as you see him before you, has 9% front overdrive total. I have ordered an 833 to put in the rear to take this guy to 18%. I have ordered it twice. One of them I ordered on Halloween. It has not shipped yet. That is coming up on 2 weeks ago. The other one I ordered and was supposed to be, it should have been installed in time for this video and has not shipped yet. Is there a worldwide shortage of 833s? I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this. Yeah, right in here at the extreme, we feel the torque run out a little bit. Like I'm at the torque limit. But, the controllability is really good. I can't see, obviously, what that passenger front is doing. Yeah, get it a little more right there and back. We must summit the Montana. Oh. So good. Man. Oh. Nope. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope. There. This guy is certainly unique in that I resisted my usual inclinations to do a whole bunch of things. Ordinarily, I'd be like, oh, he needs to be wider. We need to be at least 10 inches wide. I would have just grabbed another set of tires. I think everything here is brought about by the fact that the tires, the rim and tire combo just looked so good. There was nothing I could do. I was helpless in their power. And I am now certainly glad of it. Wow. Try a little hard side here. Yeah, like right there, I thought we were gonna lift. I thought nose end was gonna lift way earlier. Yeah, we're gonna get some nose end lift because we're transferring a lot of weight. Yeah, this stuff, I don't feel like we can go lighter in the rear shock. I think we would get over collapse. Like I could catch that. I have got to tame that reverse though. Oh, it's marvelous. So it's going to be up to all of you. You're going to have to let me show me what I'm missing. Like, what am I missing in the overall profile? Because I don't know. I'm just enamored at this point. So I don't know. I don't feel like Zabazu can do any wrong on this day. So let me know. We will change incrementally. Should I go compy and throw some 650, throw some 654S in there, which would drop a ton of, you know, I want to say it's around 5 ounces of weight dropped, or it's half of that. I can't remember if it's 5 ounces off or if the pack itself weighs 5 ounces. It's one or the other. So I thank you so much in advance for commenting. I thank you so much now for watching. He's so easy to catch when he goes to roll. I invite you to tune in for the next one. I invite you to like, subscribe, consider channel membership, get yourself a Crawl Canyon tea. The usual boilerplate that we go through at the end of these. I just want to thank you all so very much for dropping by the canyon. We'll get back at it. Hopefully Clank up next. The next thing came from the Workbench installment, and then after that, the Bronco build. For those who follow things like that. We'll see you again very soon. Oh, wait, no. We're doing this all wrong. I was going to drive out of frame. We can't drive. This is boring. We can't do that. I mean, not in this situation when we've got, I'll make sure. Yeah, there we go. When we've got, 4S 1500. Zabazu. Let's play them out.